can't call it tale of two halves necessarily because Cliff got knocked out sooner than that, but maybe really a tale of two games, two different games. I mean, it was a different game when Sean Clifford was in there and he was hitting his receivers in stride, and completely different once Taquan Roberson had to come in for Cliff, and and they false started themselves to death because he and the offensive line don't have their snap cadence together. And not to mention, of course, his vision, as far as finding the open receiver, was nothing like Sean Clifford's. So hence why we keep thinking that this offense would have certainly put up more than 20 points, had Cliff stayed healthy. And it would have been enough to overcome any kind of offensive awakening that Iowa may have had. Which, I mean, frankly, I guess to the defense's credit, they held them off for a good portion of the game. But, at some point, if you keep going 3 and out, you keep false starting yourself to the point where you're punting from your own end zone constantly, this Iowa team is going to feast on that and take full advantage. And that's pretty much what they did. Finally, after struggling most of the day throwing the ball, Spencer Petras had a nice little misdirection pass for the go-ahead touchdown. So, Marty, just, your thoughts, just obviously, the injuries and all, but, how did you feel coming into this game? And I guess, how do you feel right now at this point?
Yeah, coming into the game, I picked Penn State to win. I believe I said 23-17, 23-16, or something like that. It was a 6 or 7 point victory I predicted. And I thought this had the potential to be a game where Penn State blew Iowa out. And early on, it looked like Penn State was going to blow Iowa out. It was 17-3. Penn State had outgained Iowa 208-49. Penn State had scored on 3 of their 5 possessions. The 2 possessions they didn't were interceptions. But those interceptions, one was a pass where Clifford's getting hit in the end zone as he throws. If he's not making that throw out of his own end zone, he probably just takes a sack and eats it, but he was trying to avoid the safety. And the other interception was one where Jahan Dotson did not play defensive back at all. And if Dotson goes up and gets his hand in there, it's probably an incomplete pass, and Penn State was driving on that possession. So Iowa's defense really didn't stop Penn State at all with Sean Clifford in a quarterback. Penn State stopped themselves twice. And even on Clifford's last possession where they had to settle for the field goal, if the offensive line gave Clifford a half second more in pass protection, he had Brenton Strange wide open for a first down and then some. So Penn State's probably looking at worst case scenario, 1st and goal there, maybe get a 21-3 lead, at which point Clifford potentially exiting the game with injury may not have even mattered. Or if they give Clifford that extra half second, he might not take the hit and get hurt. And I think that's where it's frustrating. I know you agree with me as Penn State fans. We've been through a lot of frustrating losses all time, especially in recent years. Maybe the top of that list was a 2008 trip to Kinnick Stadium. But this was a game Penn State had no business losing. It was very clear from early on they were the far superior team to Iowa. They were dominating this game. And then Sean Clifford got hurt, and that changed everything. And, to Iowa's credit, their defense just swarmed Taquan Roberson. To the credit of Iowa's offense, they made just enough plays. But, man, you really got to put – I feel like if you're going to place blame for this loss – I don't necessarily blame the coaching staff for in-game decisions, but I think you got to throw some blame at the feet of the coaching staff for a combination of not recruiting the quarterback position better, not developing Taquan Roberson better, which again might not be completely on anybody. He just might be who he is as a quarterback. But looking back on it, and I guess it doesn't come as a surprise, especially because they were in the portal looking for a quarterback help in the offseason. Them not getting Will Levis to stick around, this was the first time we felt that. Because I don't know if Will Levis in there makes a difference in the passing game. It definitely makes a difference in the running game because of Levis's ability to lower that shoulder and go get 4 or 5 yards at a clip. I feel very confident. And again, this is probably a ridiculous statement to even say for a lot of reasons. But I feel confident if Will Levis was still here, Penn State wins this game. Because I think if they would have even had competent quarterback play after Clifford exits with how tremendous the defense played, which we will get into, this was just an incredible effort from the defense with how great they played with even average quarterback play. Penn State 6-0 right now.